my name is Luis Chacon. I am originally from Ecuador, South America, but I now live in Pomona, California, and I'm a pastor at a bilingual church in the city of Industry, La Puente, California. And I've been pastoring for 10 years there. And I was born again June 22nd, 1977 at 3 in the morning in a kitchen phone in my house. I was an instructor for Jack LaLanne's European Health Spa in the city of Montebello. And during that time, even though into the physical fitness, I would still be getting high and smoking on the side.
You came out of a life of drugs, gangs, streets, hanging out in the park.
Right.
You became a Christian. Were you able to go back into the park, back into that lifestyle and minister and to teach them what you've learned?
Right. When the Lord said to do it, because sometimes we kind of want to just keep hanging around and we get caught up again.
But you had to come out for
Right. I had to come out for a while to be discipled.
Right.
To learn about what it is to walk with God, what it is to expect God to come, Jesus to come back in the clouds, and learn everything about growing up in Christ.
So you spent time learning the Word, and then there was a time, though, that the Lord sent you back?
Yes. Actually, one time I went back and I started talking with them, and we're in a circle, and they're all smoking weed. They light up a joint, and I'm standing right there. So I go, uh-oh, what do I do here? So the joint's going around while, because right there they talking, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah, what else? And so now when it comes to me, I'm going, yeah, and as I was telling you, yeah, and then anyways, and that's what happened with the Lord, man. Yeah, and you know, it can happen to you too. You know what I'm saying? That's not me anymore.
So you found a church and you began to serve in the church, right, Luis?
That's a key.
And then God has begun your own ministry. He moved you into that. Tell me a little bit about what you're pastoring.
Well, I'm pastoring this church in, like I said, Industry La Puente. We've been together 10 years. And it started in a home. I basically started in a house. We got to be like 10 people. And then we moved into this like a shopping center where we have 2 storefronts. And we've been there like about 7.5, 8 years now. So a total of 10 years. And we've been basically teaching in Spanish Wednesdays and Sunday mornings. And then we recently opened up a Sunday night English speaking service for some of the kids or older people that maybe want to stay with English a little bit more. So we do that for them. And we just basically trying to preach the full gospel with added with faith, with the word of faith. That's been something that I got from Brother Copeland. He's like a mentor to me. Ever since I started going to his conventions in 1980, once I heard Brother Copeland talk, I was like, my God, this is different. This is good. I come out of there, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that. Every time I would hear him, I'm going to change that.
And you've been coming to conventions since 1980. But for the past few years, you have actually stepped up. You've actually had a special service here.
Yes, because I've always been praying that the Spanish people get a hold of this message. And it hasn't been out yet about Kenneth Copeland doing Spanish translation. Last year they started, and they said, well, we're going to go ahead and name you as the West Coast Director, Translator, Organizer, or something. I said, well, thank you, what a blessing. And now we get a screen in the back, a TV screen. We get a microphone, the headphones, and some water. And we got a chair. Sometimes I pull the chair out, I stand, and I'm, you know, and I get into it because you can't just, you know, you got to move.
What are the challenges for you all as translators when you're sitting and you're listening to Kenneth and Jesse, trying to capture the emotion or the passion in what they're doing?
If Brother Copeland is going, no, Brother Copeland, you told me that. You can't wait till he finishes saying, no, brother. You got to be going right there. No, Brother Copeland, tú sabes que yo no. You know, you got to be right there. You can't wait till he says something. Then you start because then you fall behind.
So how does it work for a Spanish-speaking person when they come into the meeting? What do they do?
Basically, they go register, and at the registration table, they can turn in their license and receive the transistor radio. And what they do is they can sit anywhere in the convention center. And once the speaker starts, somebody in the back is already talking for them, and they're listening to the Spanish of what the person is saying.
Well, is it a challenge inviting the Spanish-speaking public to conventions, to believers' conventions? Is that a difficult transition?
At the beginning, it probably is because they're not accustomed to it. So they gotta be trained or encouraged that there are other Spanish speakers already involved in this. So that's why it's important that the pastors that have Word of Faith churches, full gospel churches that are Spanish speaking, motivate their people to come here when it's not church night maybe. Like I told my people, come on Tuesday, 4th of July, instead of your barbecue, change it. Come over here for the whole day and leave here going, wow, I gotta change.
Are you convinced that if they will come, that they'll be ministered to?
Oh, I am totally convinced. If it worked for me, it'll work for them. You know what I'm saying? It's just sitting and paying attention. That's all it is. It's leaving everything alone, not concentrating at home or nothing. Just listen to the speakers that have this lifestyle of faith for 30, 40 years.
And from your father's house. Now that's
Dolores Nunez. She's here with us, Dolores Nunez, and she is a person that speaks Spanish, and she is here at the convention to hear it in her own language, and that's a blessing to her. Dolores, ¿cuánto tiempo ha estado viniendo usted aquí a la convención de Kenneth Copeland?
3 años que tomamos aquí nuestras vacaciones. Bueno, para mí ha sido tremendamente gratificante porque nos está enseñando la palabra, ¿verdad? Totalmente estamos creciendo en todos los aspectos. Ojalá que la demás gente sepa que aquí en las convenciones de Kenneth Copeland hay personas que nos traducen para que nosotros podamos crecer en la palabra. Totalmente, en cualquier idioma. Y es benéfico porque este es un banquete que no se da con la palabra.
So this is what it's all about in the translating department that we're asking you to consider coming out, and she's calling all the Latin community to enjoy this word too at the Kenneth Copeland Believers Convention.